Look at her tongue at you.
You want to sit down?
Yeah, you want to sit down?
Yeah. And here's your picture.
Come on, sit over here.
Hey you guys, today I'm going to do my labor and delivery story. I know it's been long overdue, but here we go. So I decided to take castor oil, and I really don't want to say I took castor oil because I only took like maybe a little drop, a pea-sized amount of castor oil in some juice, and this was around 1 o'clock that afternoon. So after that, I had a bowel movement around 3 o'clock, and I did it twice. It wasn't painful. It was just regular diarrhea or whatever. So after that, I started feeling fine, and I was like, okay, well, it didn't work because I took just a little bit anyway. So around 6 o'clock when my husband got home, that's when I started feeling like I was coming down with the flu. So I started laying down and lounging around the house. You know, I finally told him what I did or whatever, and he laughed. We both laughed or whatever. So around 7 o'clock is when I started having contractions, and they were 3 to 5 minutes apart. So I thought that they would wear off because I have been experiencing contractions like before that, before the 24th or whatever. So I was like, oh, this will wear off or whatever. So around 8 o'clock, I had about 15 within that hour. So I'm like, okay, well, maybe this is the real thing, you know. So we called labor and delivery. Of course, they said come in. So I'm like, nah, we just going to wait it out another hour to see where it goes, because we stayed 30 minutes away from the hospital and we didn't want to go in there, send us home. So around 8:45, they started getting intense. They were still 3 to 5 minutes, but they were getting intense. They started getting painful. So my husband was like, you know, let's go. Let's just go. So we went to labor and delivery on post. And once we got there, I was in excruciating pain. Like, it was like from, on a scale of 1 to 10, it was about at a 7. So they hooked me up to the monitor for about 15 minutes, and she checked me, and I was 3 centimeters dilated. And so I told her about the castor oil, the little castor oil, and I had a membrane sweep, I hope I'm saying that right, at my 37-week appointment. So she just instantly wrote everything off, that I was in pain, I was having contractions. She was like, oh, well, the castor oil is irritating your cervix, that's why you're having contractions, and the membrane sweep probably giving you contractions as well. And I'm like, okay, so am I in labor? And so she came back and she was like, I'm sending you home, you know, you're not in labor, you know, the contractions will fade off. And then my husband looking like, are you serious? Like, she's in pain, you know, the contractions. I'm looking like, Benadryl helps contractions? Like, no way. So we left. We ended up leaving and going back home. And once we got like halfway home, I was in so much pain, and my husband was like, we gonna turn around, we gotta go back. So I'm like, nah, they just gonna send me home since I'm 3 centimeters, no need to waste gas or whatever. So we get home, and I decided to take a shower. Around this time, it was about, I want to say 11:15 at night once we left or whatever. So it's about 11:15, and I stayed in the shower for about 30 minutes to see if the contractions would wear off. Well, while in the shower, they got worse. And so I felt like my body was kind of pushing, but it wasn't. I was able to stop the pushing. So after I got out the shower, I felt really sick. So I just laid down in the bed, and sure enough, my water broke right in the bed. I heard a pop, and there it was. And so instantly, while I'm laying there, my water just gushing out in my bed. I'm thinking like, okay, the contractions are going to get worse after this. So I didn't even bother to tell my husband, let's get in the car. I told him, call the ambulance now, because I'm not going to make it 35 minutes down the road. And then we had to go through the gate because it's on post. I'm like, I'm not going to make it. So he was like, no, we can make it, we can make it. I'm like, no, we're not going to make it. Like, call the ambulance. So we putting clothes on or whatever. and I instantly threw up, and that's when I know I was in labor. So I threw up everywhere. Water was coming out everywhere. It was just a mess, you guys. So finally, my best friend ended up showing up, and the ambulance showed up. So they ended up taking me to the hospital that's 5 minutes away from us. And once I got there, we went to the ER, and they checked me there, and I was still 3 centimeters dilated. Okay, so this was about 12:15 at night. So, well, Thanksgiving. So they took me upstairs to labor and delivery. The nurse had an attitude, of course. I mean, that's the normal for labor and delivery at night. She had an attitude, and she was like, basically, I was asking for the epidural. I was like, could I please have the epidural? She was like, well, I have to get you in the system, and I have to go do a bunch of labs, and I have to do this, do that. And I'm just like, ma'am, I'm not gonna make it. Like, I'm not gonna make it through all of that. I need the epidural now. So she was still saying no. So by that time, my husband and my best friend got in the room. So this was about 12:45. I had went through a whole bunch of bag of IV fluid, half a bag of IV fluid. So instantly my body started to push on its own, you guys. So she came back in and checked me, and I was 7 centimeters dilated. So my best friend leaned over, and she was like, in case you have to have this baby natural. And I'm like, no, I'm not having this baby natural. Like, I can't. Like, I was in so much pain. So my best friend finally was like, scream. So I started screaming because the pain, the contractions was, at this point, the contractions were seconds. They was like 45 seconds apart. So while she's checking me, she was like, don't push. And I'm like, ma'am, I can't stop pushing. Like, my body is instantly pushing itself. So I'm like, she's coming. There's no way I could stop this. So the doctor wasn't there. They had to call the doctor. So she had to rush from her house to the hospital. So in the midst of me pushing, the nurse had her fingers trying to hold the baby up so she wouldn't come out because they did not want to deliver. So a whole bunch of people, I turned around quickly because I was fading out because of the pain was so bad. So I turned around quickly, and it was a whole bunch of people, like I'm talking about. I think the whole labor and delivery nurse staff came in that room because I was in so much pain, you guys. I was screaming. I was tearing that stuff out the wall and everything. So finally the nurses, they was looking back and forth at each other, was like, she's not gonna make it. Where's the doctor? She's not even close. So this was around 1:30. When I say the doctor got in maybe 5 minutes to my daughter being born. She came in and told me to push. I pushed twice, and my daughter was born at 1:53 Thanksgiving Day, you guys. No medication. Everybody asking, like, could she have something? And I had progressed from 3, 7, all the way to 10 within an hour. And I just really felt like they was not listening to me when I was trying to tell them that I was in so much pain. Like, they wasn't listening. So I didn't get the epidural, which I'm still pissed about that. And the pain that I was in is indescribable, y'all. If you guys had a natural birth, then you know the pain. I didn't even get a chance to get the medicine that they put in your IV that makes you high and kind of take the edge off. I didn't even get a chance to get that at all. I just went straight natural, and that's something that I don't want to ever think about ever again. It's something that, you know, I definitely wouldn't encourage. If you can get the epidural, then get the epidural, because that pain, I'm not trying to prove nothing to nobody to say I'm the world's strongest woman or whatever, but that pain was so intolerable, you guys. If you got a high pain tolerance, then kudos to you. If you want to have a natural birth, then kudos to you guys. But after that, I recovered quickly. I was able to get up and walk. Of course, my body was in shock, you know. I couldn't hold my daughter for about 45 minutes because I just laid there. And I was kind of mad at the first hospital where my doctor was, because they sent me home and they wasn't listening to when I was telling them that I'm in active labor. This is my second child. I know when I'm in active labor. But, yeah, that's my labor and delivery story, you guys. It's really, really sensitive to me because I'm still emotional about it, because the pain. I feel like I wasn't supposed to be in that much pain. But I'm blessed. We had a beautiful, healthy 7 pounds and 11 ounces baby girl on Thanksgiving, which is my second holiday baby. And yeah, so now I'm about to let you guys meet Miss Riley. Of course she's asleep. She just ate. And there's our baby girl, Riley Grace. And we came up with the middle name because it was so last minute, because I was saying to my husband it was by God's grace that she is here, because the way I felt, I felt like I was gonna die. So it's by God's grace that both of us are here and healthy, and we had a healthy delivery. So thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions or have anything to say, y'all, please comment below. And thank you guys for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe.
Mommy, why you was screaming? Why you was screaming? Because the doctor